All right, all right. I want to welcome everybody to Straight Talk with Dr. Cam. We have a wonderful guest today, Mr. Gilberto Herrera. This guy is fantastic. He does so much work for so many people. I've worked with him for years. He's been a great person in the community. I mean, he just does a little bit of everything, all the way from real estate to digital marketing, helping small businesses. He's Entrepreneur of the Year. He's done everything. He's doing it for multiple communities. And I'm so happy and excited to have him here today. So, Gilberto, if you don't mind, I'm excited to have you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with some of the business ventures you're doing?
Yeah. So first and foremost, Dr. Cam, thank you for having me here. My name is Gilberto Herrera, and although I do a lot of things, it's all centered around one thing. I want to help businesses attract premium clients so they can earn the most, and I help them systemize their businesses so as they scale, they're buying back their time and removing themselves from the process. So, man, how I got started is just basically, trial and error. I
Mm.
started in sales, and sales led me to marketing, and then marketing led me to direct response marketing. And once I started bringing in leads, I was bringing in so many leads, I couldn't fulfill all my promise to all of them. So I had to figure out how to do it at a mass scale. And then I started learning that other people had the same issue. So I took a step back and I started teaching people what I've learned so they can, you know, in turn grow their business while, buying back their time. Because we don't get in a business to be worker bees. We get in a business to be able to be free and do the things we want to do.
Sure.
But oftentimes we neglect that piece of the business.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I guess if you could tell us a little bit about how you went from sales to marketing, because people think they're the same, but they're way different actually when you really kind of get the alignment perfect. And so I know you do some sales coaching, I know you do a little bit of marketing, but could you explain those differences and maybe some misconceptions that businesses have around those topics?
Absolutely. So first and foremost, let me just say this: nothing happens if there's not a sale done. So
Mhm.
sales is extremely important in business, right? You can't run from it. Um, Marketing's goal is to get you closer to a sale. So what you put out in the atmosphere, is supposed to be so good that it speaks to that person that you're trying to get to, and to get them to raise their hand and say, "Hey, I've heard enough. Take my money." And they either schedule a time to talk to you, they go on your website and purchase something, or whatever your sales process is. So think
Right.
about golf, right? Your goal is to get as close to the hole as possible. So marketing is that, you know, your putter or your golf club or whatever it is that you use, and the way you swing it is supposed to get you closer to, that hole in one. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so when you are working with these businesses, can you help us define small business? Because I know you work with small businesses, but I know you also work with enterprise organizations. And so are they vastly different, or is it things that a small organization should know that's a lot different than a big organization?
yeah, so they all enterprise size companies have a different problem. Usually they have so much money and they take their eye off the ball. But a small business, you don't have the luxury of an enterprise size business. So for instance, I'm not going to name any names, but let's take a Fortune 500 company, right?
Hmm.
You know, they can just market to get their name out there. They can run commercials. So for instance, to date, we got the Super Bowl coming up, right?
Hmm.
There's to run a commercial on the Super Bowl, $7 million.
Wow.
Coca-Cola can afford to do that. All the big brands can afford to do that because they just need to keep their name out there because they've already been solidified into the atmosphere.
Sure.
What I try to teach the small business owners is you don't have that luxury of an unlimited budget. Your goal is to get in front of the right person at the right time with the right messaging. And if it doesn't pay, not today. There are strategies that we use, like outreach. Like before you spend $1 on marketing, I want you to go out into the atmosphere and prove to me that you can sell what it is that you do. And
Right.
then based on that, we get feedback. So by the time we start marketing, you've already spoken to your ideal client. You know what their pain points are. You know what their objections are. You know what their drive, what's going to drive them to buy. So we can take all of those and then we can start mass marketing in the form of, let's say, social media ads or Google ads or whatever that uh, medium might be. And but we go after we're very specific. We go after one person with one message, one offer, and versus a Fortune 500 company which can spend $1 billion a year just to keep their name out because they can afford to do so.
Gotcha, gotcha. So would you say that maybe one of the issues with small businesses is that they have too many offerings at that time, and
Absolutely,
they hadn't mastered one yet? Is that something
absolutely,
you commonly see?
man. One of the things that I have to teach my small business owners. I was having a conversation with someone yesterday,
Mhm.
and we were redoing, redefining their offer, and I'm like, hey, you can't do real estate and say that you teach people to be corporate kings and queens. You got to pick one because
Mhm.
when we start putting it out there, you're going to confuse. And when you confuse that customer, you lose. Simplicity scales, complexity fails. So
Ooh,
one
that's good.
offer, and we take that offer. How do we change your business model so we can make that package and premium so that let's say you're charging, I could give you an example of a local person. I work with a guy who sells cookies, who bakes.
Mhm.
We took a $5 product and now he's selling a 6 pack of cookies for $20. People thought we were crazy when we did that, but he sells
Right.
out faster now because he's going after people that can afford that, want that, and can pay that.
Gotcha, gotcha. And who doesn't want more cookies? I mean, yeah,
Right.
give me the $20 pack anytime. So,
Yeah. For 6 cookies, when you can go to Walmart and get a Chips Ahoy pack for, probably got 40 cookies, right? But they're not the
yeah,
same. It's
right,
not
right.
homemade, you know.
Mhm. Mhm. So
So
are you teaching people to create a premium product in that scenario? Is that the goal behind it, or do you look at every business a little bit differently?
now I come in and we look at your business model to see how we can charge more. Because say for
Okay.
instance, you're working with 20 people a month, right?
Mhm.
And you're charging $1,000 a month.
Mhm.
You know, that's $20,000, right?
Mhm.
What if we can charge $2,000 a month and serve those 20 people? Well,
Yes.
you're doing the same amount of work and you doubled your revenue immediately just by
Yes.
changing your offering.
Wow. Yeah. And I think some of those simplistic things people don't generally think about. And so it's really great that you teach and help people kind of focus on that. Now, I just want to switch gears just a little bit. I know we spoke a little bit about sales and marketing, but could you talk a little bit about the digital side of things? I know you're working with Google. I know you're in the community. I know you're helping businesses get the tech skills and tech tools that they need to be able to run their businesses more effectively. Could you tell us a little bit about that and how that's really transformed the people you've been working with?
Well, digital marketing has allowed the small business owner to be able to compete with big box retailers, right?
Mhm.
Back in the day, you only had a couple mediums. You had the TV, you had the radio, you had the billboards, you had the reg mail, you know, which I still love the reg mail, by the way, because if you do it effectively, it turns over um, a tremendous amount of profit. But now with digital marketing, you have access to the world, which drove the cost of advertising down. And if you do it properly, you can advertise for free for the most part. You can get your customers to pay you to show up on a call with you. So our people don't understand that because they look at marketing and they think just because you sell something, that's marketing. Just because you promote something, that's marketing. Our people,
Mhm.
they come out with something, they put up a flyer, and they say buy this, buy this, buy this.
Mhm.
Um, but they don't understand that that's not how people buy. So digital marketing has allowed everyone to be able to have a fighting chance, and that's the beautiful thing. You just got to do it effectively and understand the platform you're using and the people on that platform that you're trying to serve.
Absolutely. So I know when you're marketing your company or business, sometimes even when you change that offering, is there a standard time limit that you should focus on this new offering? Because I think some people get discouraged if it doesn't, change immediately. Is there a time period based on the product and vertical, or is it a standard communication you let the business owner know based on the pricing of their offering in terms of how long it would potentially take to get the success that they're looking for?
Yeah. So first and foremost, I don't get when they first start out, I don't get them to focus on when the profit coming in. I ask them to track their revenue generating activity.
Mm,
So, if you're running ads, right? You know, how many of those ads turn into actual appointments, and who's on the other end of that phone, having those conversations to take those appointments and turn them into sales. So let's say you get 10 calls a day, right? 10 appointments a day, and you turn one of them into a customer, then I know your closing ratio is 10%, right?
hmm
So I know in order for you to achieve your goals and your closing ratio is 10%, then we start systemizing. Everything is data driven. Nothing
Got it.
is by chance. So in the beginning, I tell my customers, hey, don't look to make money. But however, we're gonna get a story, we're gonna get data that's gonna help you make money for the rest of your life. It's like printing money once we get
Wow.
these numbers dialed in properly.
Right. I think you said something, you know, getting the data, I think, is where a lot of our businesses have failed because we've been operating off of emotion for so long. How do you get people to go from emotion decision making to data driven decisions that help them really be successful? Because a lot of time, I mean, I've had, early in my career, I've had a ton of failed businesses. Try and try because you're just operating out here. You don't have a lot of support or knowledge at that point. But if you look at the data, you can make those changes and gain the success that you're looking for. And so when it comes to this data management, what type of tools are you having people use to be able to quantify the data that they're seeing from their customers or their interactions?
So there's some tools that I've built. So I have a revenue predicting calculator where you just plug the data in. We start out really conservative, and it tells you, hey, if you're not running ads, then you need to be talking to 50 people a day. Then we work backwards.
Okay.
Where are those 50 people? All right. Are you going to do cold outreach? Are you going to pick up the phone and call them? Are you going to go knock on doors? So see, people skip the revenue generating activities because it's bundled up in work. So
Mm,
if you're not willing to even do that, I don't even work with you because it's not going to work if you don't put the work in. You pay me for my system, but you don't pay me to do the work for you.
gotcha.
So
Gotcha. Gotcha.
you know, if you're not willing to do the work, then I give you your money back, and then you go somewhere else. Or you can pay me 10 times as much, and I will systemize everything, put people in your team, hire your team, and all these other things. But few and far in between, there's people that can do that.
Wow. So you even help businesses get the right people in place to do this stuff, even if it's not naturally them. Because sometimes people are behind the scenes, they're not super great communicators, they're not out front people. And so you have an option to help people get the professional that they need to help them scale and do some of that work to reach their goals.
Absolutely. But see, even some you don't sometimes you don't even need people. You just need the right software. So we
Right.
even have the tech to be able to put streamline workflows and automate things, the follow ups and things of that nature. But if you want to be in my business and you are the brand, you can't be shy. You
Right.
know, now if you're a tech CEO and you go to Silicon Valley and raise billions of dollars and you come to me and say, hey, help me systemize this thing, then we're good to go. But if you're a coach, consultant, some sort of service provider, 9 times out of 10, people buy because they see you consistently more than anything.
Right.
And
Right.
if you're going to be too arrogant to feel like you can't put the work in, then how are you going to pour into your people? It's always a rule that, especially in my team, I'm never going to ask them to do anything that I'm not willing to do myself,
Right.
or I don't have an understanding of. Now, at some point, I started hiring people and to tell me what to do, but I have an understanding of what I want. So how are you going to have an understanding of what you want and how it's supposed to go if you haven't done the work yourself or have no concept of how it works?
Yeah. So I want to just take one step back based on this commentary. Would you say that, well, do you have any services or products that help people align their mindset first before they even get started with this, process of business? Because, I've always experienced people needing to change their mind and their outlook before they're able to kind of move forward. Do you have a service that you provide to kind of help with that?
So in my Profitable Pro Accelerator, which is my premium offer, there is probably 30 hours worth of mindset stuff in there.
Okay.
But that's not number one. We come in, we start putting things in place to get your systems in place so that you can start working a business, and then we go into mindset.
Gotcha. So now, just shifting a little bit, I know you're doing a lot of things, and I want to just make sure I'm able to touch on a few different things. You're a very talented guy, and you're moving around a lot. I see you everywhere, all over social media. I mean, you're teaching people, you're helping people. People are really excited about the results that they have, and you have a lot of interaction when it comes to that. And I think people, if they look at you, they see you successful in business. Does that help it translate over into you being able to do business with them, or do you find that people watch you longer than they reach out to you? Like from the time that someone sees you, how soon do they typically reach out to get your help?
I mean, it could be, I've had people reach out after they found me immediately. And then I've had people reach out where they've been watching me for a year. So it just depends on where they are into the buying cycle. So actually, Google just came out with a study. It's called the 7-11-4 principle, where people need about 7 hours worth of content over 11 touch points across 4 different platforms before they even make a buying decision. So if you think about it like that, then, the average person to go from unknown to trusting you, it takes about 7 hours now. So that's how I just approach it. I understand where they are with their pain points. I show them that I've been there, and I show them that I'm the bridge between where they are and where they want to be. And some people get it faster than others, and it's just the reality of it. But what we do is we continue to give you value and not ask you for anything in return until you want to take the next step and say, hey, let me see if I qualify, first of all, because everybody doesn't qualify to work with me. Let me go ahead and take that leap of faith. And then 2, let me make sure that I am, ready to put the work in, because these are all of the things we vet people really well before they even come and have a conversation with us. Because at the end of the day, the last thing we want to do is, 1, I don't want to put my team in a position where they can't service the right person. And 2, I don't want to put that person on the other end of the phone or computer in a position where, they feel like this is not going to be what they want. So, we have an extraneous vetting process where you got to fill out a survey. And based on how you answer those questions, then you get access to a calendar to be able to book a call.
Gotcha. And so, I want to kind of just jump a little bit. I know that you work with multiple communities. I also want to know a little bit about what you're doing in the Latin community. And because I follow you on social media, I see you doing stuff on that side. Is it different? Is it the same? How are you impacting that community and bringing them closer to success also?
Got you. It's the same.
Okay.
But it's just wrapped up in a different bow, right? Everybody only wants 3 things. They want health, wealth, and better relationships, right?
Yes.
But the cultures can be different. So, the Latin community, just because you Latin doesn't mean that we're all the same, right? So Mexicans have a different culture and different struggles than somebody that came from Puerto Rico, Panama, or even somebody from the Caribbean, because we all kind of are lumped in one.
Mm-hmm.
But when you come to the United States and you want to live the American dream, we all have the same goal. It's just, the destination might be a little different. You might be looking to become a resident or a citizen before you can even start taking certain steps. But that still doesn't stop you from getting an I-10 number and starting a business. So that's why you see a lot of, Latinos or Hispanic people. They're entrepreneurs for the most part, because they were forced to do so out of desperation, because that's the only thing they could do.
Right.
Which I admire. In disguise.
Yeah, which I admire so much. And I see these small businesses really scaling pretty quickly because they're really focused on getting things done. When you don't have a backup plan, you just have to kind of get out here and get it. And I really just admire that. And I wish we could embrace that more here in America when it comes to just doing what you have to do and getting to the place you need to get for yourself and your family. And so that's wonderful that you are helping that group also. And do you have any new things kind of coming up with either side? What's the next event you have coming? What's the next promotion you're working on to help people?
So right now, the biggest thing I'm working on is my accelerator.
Okay.
Where I'm helping people get to six figures, and then after that, we help them scale to seven figures.
Okay.
And that's going to be my focus. I have a egregious goal to help 1,000 people at least generate six figures by the end of 2025. So that's where I'm putting all my energy to. Of course, you see me with the Grow with Google stuff, which
Mhm.
is a free program to help people get access to training and digital tools to help them grow their business. But I'm limited to the state of Alabama in that regard. So you'll see me all over the state, at least 2 to 3 times a month, going out and giving free trainings on anything from, just basic marketing skills to AI stuff. Cause Google has, Gemini,
Sure.
how to make sure that your business is set up for success online, how to run Google ads, how to make sure that, you grow your business on YouTube. So all of these things, and it's completely free. We don't charge anything. We just ask that you
What?
show up. Yeah, it's a completely free program.
So how can people get more information about this? I mean, so you
So
providing resources directly from Google for free?
yep, it's all
Wow.
Google training, resources, certifications.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm the only one approved in the state of Alabama to be able to do so. So if you go to g.co/grow/digital coach AL, you will be able to find all that information. Or if you just Google Grow with Google coaches, you'll be able to find the coach in your state.
Yeah, and we'll make sure this will also be in the caption, so no worries. So everybody's going to get that information. You definitely want to take advantage of these tools and somebody who knows how to use and leverage the tools, which is even more important. So I'm really thankful that you are doing that. And I'm sure you're transforming a lot of small businesses and helping them really get a foothold and create some new opportunity. And I'm really, really adamant about anybody getting the skills, getting the tools that they need because it can change your life. And you're saying it's free. So there's really no
Yeah,
excuse to being successful.
yeah. Just
So
last year, I trained about 5,000 people in
what?
the state of Alabama at no cost.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. And so would you say that you saw a lot of people be successful from the program and they were able to get some tools that really helped them transform? Or is it more of
Absolutely.
okay, great. Okay.
So, and no matter where you are in your career,
Okay.
it's for everyone. But what I love most about it is, man, it's not even just about the training and the resources. I mean, I get people that come there. Like I got a friend, Courtney. She's a friend of mine now because she comes to them consistently. She gets business out of these events. I mean, you got 70 people there at a time in one room, and there are needs in those rooms that you might be able to fill. You
Right.
know, she gets website clients consistently.
Really?
I have another friend, she's starting to do everyone's branding. I have another friend, she does tech. So whenever you have technology that needs to be repaired or updated and or cleaned or anything, she gets all that business because she shows up consistently.
Wow. And that's man, we always tell people just show up. Look
Just
to
show
add
up. That's
value.
it.
Just show up. You gotta get out there. You gotta put yourself out there. And literally, he's saying that there's opportunities just for showing up. So I want to encourage everybody that's listening. If there's an opportunity, if there's a networking event, if there's a place where you can get tools and meet new people, show up, add value, build relationships so that you can move further in life. Gilberto, I know that you are also a part of the Network and Chill events that are happening all around the Southeast. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I did speak to Christopher. He's great. And I know you're working with him. And it was a powerful event. I just wanted to mention it on this interview and kind of talk about that a little bit and what you guys are looking to do there.
Yeah, so I'll tell you my story with that. So I was actually a chill chat participant in one, and that opened up so many doors for me in the state of in the not the state but the city of Montgomery, Alabama. That opened up doors for me to consult there, to do keynotes there, to do trainings there,
Mhm.
and just by me having a foothold in that network and chill, it tied me to a community that I had no access to. And
Mm.
because of that, bro, the city of Montgomery, the mayor actually gave me a proclamation declaring November 10th Gilberto Herrera Day in Montgomery.
Wait a minute,
So
you have a day?
I have my own day in Montgomery. November
Oh,
10th is my
that's
birthday.
crazy. That man, we got to
Yeah.
make sure. So, do you have any plans for that day this year coming up?
Yeah. So I'm actually on the board of an organization there called the Pivot Path. And the whole goal of that our organization is to advance adults that probably fell through the system, help them get their GED, and then
Mm.
help them, to get on track workforce wise or business wise, so that they can actually live a life worth living.
Got it.
So we'll do
Got it.
something together on November 10th in conjunction with that organization every year. I've
Wow.
committed to doing something every year there because it's not about bragging. It's about actually having a presence there to a city that accepted me. So, you know, because have accepted me so well, I want to make sure that I represent for them each and every year.
Right, and add that value. Just to kind of wrap it up, if you don't mind, tell us some things that we should know about marketing, sales, digital marketing, some of the topics that you discuss. What are some of the most important things, and how can people get started?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it a step back, Cam. I want to simplify business to people just as a whole, right?
Mhm,
Because there's so much noise out here in the whether you see it on social media or online or what have you, right? Let
mhm.
me just simplify things. There's only three ways to grow a business. You got to get customers, you got to get them to buy more, and get them to buy more often.
Woo,
That's it.
yeah,
So if you need new customers consistently, right? But what if you can get that customer when they come in, instead of spending $10, their average ticket order would be $20. Then you doubled your revenue consistently.
yes,
Best Buy is great at this. All the cell phone carriers are great at it, right? When you come in and buy that cell phone, they don't just sell you a cell phone. You walk out of there with a charger, a protection plan, a screen,
yeah.
a case,
Insurance.
insurance, all of those things, right? Probably a speaker, think of
Mhm,
Best Buy, same thing, right?
mhm.
When you go get your car, when you go to the car shop and get your car repaired and you want to get an oil change, they come back and be like, well, you actually need all these things as well.
Right.
That's how you increase your average ticket, or you already got that person in front of you. So how can you add more value, which in turn allows them to pay you more? Because when value is present, price goes away.
Wow, wow, when
So
value is present, the price goes away, and we know that.
absolutely,
We've exercised that a whole lot, and I just to kind of wrap it up, I wanna say how much I appreciate you joining this call and just giving us a little bit of insight, and we're looking to have you back even more, but, for all the audience out there, this guy has helped me in business through the years. He's given us tons and tons of, sales opportunities. He's helped connect the dots in a lot of ways, and you've been a really one of the things I think you're super great at is being a super great connector. You're a guy that everybody respects across the board, and respect is earned. And so you've been showing up and doing work for a long time. And I want to let you know we appreciate your effort and hard work. Being in the community, serving people, solving problems, and adding value. It's a very rare trait to even want to do this stuff. You have to have a heart for it. And so I just want to thank you for your time, and we look forward to the things that you have coming down the pipe and which you're planning to do in the future.
man, likewise. And at the same token, man, you guys have anytime there's an opportunity, you call me up and you bring me on. I don't want to mention too many of them on here, but
Sure.
just know that you know, and then you guys have created almost what $100 million in salaries in a community that's supposed to be underserved. That's
Yes.
unheard of. I always tell people all the time, if I wasn't in business, I would gladly turn over whatever the cost is for Cloud Tech certification through Cloud Tech Academy, because that field, we're just scratching the surface. It's going to continue to evolve.
Yeah, and we have a lot of special things coming with AI. We're going to create a lot of AI engineers across the board. So we're very, very excited. We're going to have you back to talk a little bit more about tech and real estate, because I know you're a mogul. Hey, listen, bro, you're a young mogul out here, and we want to talk about all the wonderful things that you're doing. So thank you so much for joining us for Straight Talk with Dr. Cam. This has been a great interview, and we're signing off. Thank you, sir.
Man, thank you for having me.